Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, MsEbonyVee. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a crochet installation. I haven't done this type of video in probably several months now. And I'm going to be installing some Goddess Braids that I received from Toyotress. So huge thank you and shout out to them for sending me these crochet braids. I'm starting off with freshly washed hair that I have let air dry in a stretched state. So now I'm just kind of going through each of the sections and detangling and making sure that my hair is moisturized. I'm starting off with this Camille Rose Ultimate Strength Serum, and I'm just going to massage this into my scalp. I like to use this because it combats thinning and hair breakage. Next, I'm going to be adding some of this Cream of Nature with Argan Oil, Moisture Recovery Leave-In Curl Milk. This moisturizes my hair very well and I love it. Next, I'm going in with this Camille Rose Hair Oil. I like to apply this to my actual hair strands just to prevent any kind of breakage, damage, or splitting of the hair. One note or tip I will add, it is extremely important to make sure that your hair is very well protected and moisturized while it is in a protective hairstyle. This is something I thrive off of and do every single time. So I basically repeated the exact same steps for all 4 sections of my hair. So since I'm on this hair growth journey, the last thing I'm adding is another Camille Rose. It's a grow back hair oil that I'm just adding to my scalp as well as my edges because I'm trying to get my hair to grow nice and healthy. And so far it has been working very well, so I've been impressed. So now I'm just going to start parting my hair into the sections that I need for this crochet installation. I'm going ahead and just combing out all of my hair now. I know you're probably wondering, well, why'd you twist it up in the first place? But, you know, I have that 4C hair. It gets tangled up real fast. So you kind of got to keep them tangles out and you got to twist it up and take it out. All right, so right now I'm just parting from ear to ear so that this is going to be the front section of my hair that I'm going to do the individual braids in. The back will just be cornrowed straight back. So with this step, I do like to section my hair off into 4 sections. And then I take each of those 4 sections and split it into 2 to begin my individual braids. I hope that makes sense. I like to use this Let's Jam. It's a stronghold Let's Jam. It helps with straight parting, as you see here, and it helps keep the roots nice and straight. So as you can see, I'm starting off with just an individual braid. I only braid a few times, maybe about 5 or 6 times, and then I turn that braid into a twist. Let me tell you, once I figured out this method, it saved me so much time. Instead of braiding all the way down, I just braid a little bit at the beginning and twist the remainder of the way. And now I'm just going to attach that first braid to the next section. You know, it's just attaching the braids. I split the next section into 2 and then add the third braid as the third part of, add the twist as the third part of the braid. Of course, you need 3 pieces to braid. I braid for just a few strands on down, maybe about 5-6 times, and then I'm twisting the rest of the way. Pretty simple. That's what I did for the entire front section. I wasn't going to bore you the whole time. So now I'm going to work on the back section doing some straight backs. And while I'm doing the straight backs, I always have, well, I don't always, but this time I'm going to have 1 braid going all the way across the nape of my neck. And then when I begin cornrowing that braid, I'm going to start strategically adding in some of these individual braids so that it creates an anchor where pretty much the spaces and gaps stop. I really hope that makes sense, that I'm not confusing you. Now, as you can see, I'm continuing to add these individual braids / twists into this cornrow as I continue to cornrow this one long cornrow that's going across the nape of my neck. Now, with doing this kind of cornrow going across the nape of your neck, it is quite challenging. Don't get me to lie, I tell you no story. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. I swear, my neck be cramping up, like I be getting tired. But it is an important method within this process so that when you crochet the hair, you can just kind of lift it up and then there's just like 1 row of the crochet braids going across the nape of the neck. Now, my kitchen is not in its best state, so don't come for me, okay? I already know. But I did get my son to shape me up once I finished my entire foundation. Like, anytime I do a crochet, I make sure I have a really clean neckline. It's just not clean right now. So once again, I didn't want to bore you with doing all of these straight back cornrows. So this is how it all came together as a result. And I normally have one braid still hanging out. And I'm going to go ahead and sew that down, which you'll see here in a moment. Now, the reason I sew down the tail of this braid instead of just crocheting it through another braid is because I have been infamous for cutting off the end of the braid multiple times during the takedown. So I have to prevent myself from doing that anymore. It's been like 3 times, y'all. That's really sad. I have cut off an entire cornrow. I have cut off a tail of a braid twice. Like, it's ridiculous. So to prevent me from doing that in the future, guess what? We're sewing this braid down so that I cannot cut it off anymore. Of course, I can't see the back of my head, so I am really just feeling my way through. And once I got to the end of that thread and I realized my braid was down, I'm just tying like multiple knots in that thread so that it does not come loose. Okay, so let's get into this hair. Again, these are Goddess Braids crochet or crochet braids from Toyotress, and they did include a crochet needle. It also includes 8 individual packs of the hair. In each individual pack of hair, there are about 15 or 16 individual braids or crochet goddess braids. Now, for a little transparency, it's been about 7 days since I braided my natural hair, y'all. Yep, it took this long to get back. So I'm adding some more of this wild growth hair oil to my scalp before I begin this installation. And as you can see, I've already begun. This was like, I feel like when I first started, it was like trial and error, like the first 2, maybe 3 crochet attempts. It was like me trying to figure out what to do with that little extra curly hair to make it the goddess type. So, you know, once I got into my groove, it moved along pretty fast and seamlessly. Now, I'm not really sure how I did this, but I ended up skipping an entire row. And I'm like, what? How in the world I do that? So I had to go back and fill in these couple of crochet. I'm like, how did I just skip the rest of the row? It makes no sense to me. But hey, I guess my eyes was like ready to move on. I don't know. I didn't want to bore you with crocheting the rest, so this is what it all looks like after I have crocheted the front half of my hair. And now I'm just tying it up to get it out of my way so that I can mosey on to the back. The whole installing of the crochet didn't take long at all, maybe about 20 to 30 minutes. It took more time to braid down my foundation of my natural hair. That took probably like 45 minutes to an hour. But I got all of the hair in finally. So now I'm just going through kind of finger detangling. But I'm going to go ahead and lay down my edges real quick so that I can move on to, you know, just finessing the actual hair or goddess braids a little more. I also wanted to just quickly mention that I did not use all 8 packs of those individual packs of hair. I think I had about 3.5 left over. Once again, huge thank you and shout out to Toyotress for sending me this hair. I really do appreciate it. All right, so now I'm going to go in with my Cream of Nature with argan oil foaming mousse just to kind of, you know, tame the braids along with the goddess hair that's hanging out of the braids for the goddess braid effect. Just getting the curls back to being defined and kind of breaking up the tangling that's going on as well. This is something I actually had to do like every few days because the braids would get quite a bit tangled. And as you can see, I'm just chopping off some of the ends. Luckily, the ends are in the curly state, so it's very easy to do without disrupting the actual braids. And everybody, this is the final look. I mean, I feel like it came out very cute. It's a super easy style. So I thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye, y'all.